WZR Radio starts now. You can join us in the live chat room at WZROnline.com/chat. Or call into the show at 518-712-3070.
I'm coming up for air so I can check myself again and I stand proven to the man but sheltered confidence pretend.
Now, here are your hosts, Matt Boone and Ryan Clark.
How's it going, everybody? On the SmackDown side of things, being taped tonight at the Eyes Out.
What do we got? What do we got, man?
We've got Drew McIntyre against John Morrison for the IC title. And we had, The Undertaker was originally on the advertisements for the show, but was pulled in the last few weeks. So I don't know if that means...
Yeah, that could mean nothing, but I don't know why they would pull him from the advert. It doesn't make sense, but it probably, I don't know. I don't see why he wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm. We've got our live chat room, WZROnline.com/chat.
Or
once again, it's the same thing, WZROnline.com/chat. And we've got the live phone number to call in live. It's 518-712-3070.
Yeah. We never talked about it off the air, and you said same thing. So let me just ask you on the air.
Right.
What was the purpose of you decking out that PWS chat if we didn't need it? I don't understand why you did that.
We had the original WZROnline.com/chat. We had the original page there. I decided that until we can get us moved over to a new server, to make this page, and since people for the last few weeks have been going to basically not using ProWrestlingScoop.com/chat. I'll keep it up for those that want.
That's where I'm at. I prefer that one.
Well, it's the same exact thing. If you go to WZROnline.com/chat, it is the exact same thing that you see on PWS. So we will plug WZROnline.com/chat from this point forward.
Also,
all right.
Sorry, really quick, one more plug before you get into this stuff. We have a YouTube channel set up where we're going to archive our stuff there and try and reach a little, new audience or whatever. So if you want to check out our YouTube official channel, which has just been set up, we'll be putting archives and stuff like that up and little features. But you can check it out at youtube.com/user/WZR archive. So check that out.
Yeah, no doubt. He set that up today. He's got a bunch of archives up. By the way,
no, he doesn't yet. I don't think.
By the way, the ECW tapings have started tonight in New Jersey, and
cool.
I can tell you there was a backstage segment where Tommy Dreamer is going to face Zack Ryder tonight, and the storyline angle is if Zack Ryder beats him, he'll leave WWE forever tonight. So that is the storyline for Tommy Dreamer leaving WWE, and hopefully we'll have full spoilers here in just a little bit.
Yes, we should. Didn't they just do something like that on ECW, Career versus Mask, with Helms and Burchill?
And Paul Burchill, right. They're actually... They still got that going on. They do weekly segments where Burchill's now under a mask gimmick.
Yeah, I heard.
Right. So that's ECW. I mean, that's what we got. That's the Tommy Dreamer angle, obviously, with him leaving WWE. You can expect Zack Ryder to be put over. Tommy Dreamer putting people over on the way.
I love this stuff, man. I'm looking at my clock. We're 25 past the hour, and we haven't even really started yet. I love how we do it. It's crazy. We just bullshit for 25, 30 minutes, and it just goes zipping by.
It does.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. We've got WZROnline.com/chat. I plugged that so many times throughout the show, but nonetheless, we're going to do chat shout-outs here in hour number 2. So get in there. If I see you guys come in there, we've got tons and tons of people in there tonight. And once again, got to plug this one more time before we move on to Monday Night Raw from last night. We're going to be here live this Sunday night, one night, 24 hours prior to WWE versus TNA. The following night, it's going to be a live special. It's going to start at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 to 10 Eastern Time, this Sunday night, January 3rd.
Yes, and the parade, which we'll talk about in the news with Hulk Hogan, that'll be over by then, so we'll have all that stuff for you as well.
Right, right. Monday Night Raw from last night.
Monday Night Raw.
What did you think from top to bottom? I know you tuned in because you knew over the weekend.
The Bret.
Yeah, we reported that.
And Vince.
Vince was going to cut a promo on Bret Hart, and they did that angle where they set it up. You know, I was interested to see how they were going to go about it, and you kind of knew. You know what I mean? But you didn't know if Bret would have been down to try to relive that. You know what I mean? And obviously it's Vince's company, and Bret agreed to the contract. And I mean, I don't think they would do anything that Bret wouldn't approve of. But to bring up the Montreal screw job and to go
that was
about
my
it that
point.
way.
Like it depends. You said you were interested to see where they were going with the storyline. When they showed that video package and the last, half of it was all about the screw job, Vince brought up the screw job, Shawn brought up the screw job, and they directed the attention to Shawn and Bret as opposed to Vince and Bret, although Vince and Bret will probably be the focus. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going right at it with it's not going to be like some pussy, he's going to be the coach of the Hart Dynasty. It looks like, at least in the beginning, they're going to go straight at it, man, which is cool.
Yeah, they are going to bring him in next week. We'll run it down here top to bottom.
And you could care less, which I still don't understand, but we'll get into that later.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it when we run it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. We opened things up with Chris Jericho was outside the building, and he had a megaphone and a petition where the deal is he wanted to get back on Monday Night Raw. So we had a petition out there.
Stop taking pictures of me.
Right. Then we opened the show up. We had a segment with John Cena versus Sheamus. Cena came to the ring, pulled out
versus.
John Cena, an in-ring segment with Cena and Sheamus. We had versus later in the night as our main event. But Cena wanted a tables match, a rematch from the match pay-per-view, where Cena was put through a table. So he brought out a table. That brought out Sheamus. Sheamus says, "Not tonight. You're gonna do it my way or no way."
He says it's no challenge. He's already beat him in a tables match. What's in it for me, kind of thing. So storyline-wise, it made sense.
Right. So he says later tonight we're going to have a WWE title match. Obviously, this was planned a week in advance. We had this hyped up, and it was going to be for pinfall only. And with that, we had Cena. They went at it, and Cena hit the attitude adjustment on Sheamus through
the table.
And then, later in the night, we had there was a segment backstage where Sheamus attacked John Cena as he was about to be interviewed by Josh Matthews. I think.
Yes.
Right,
you're right.
Right. Then we had backstage a new rapper, Timbaland, who was on.
He's more of a producer than a rapper. But yes.
Right. He was. You knew they were going to do something with him, and the Divas. Obviously, Who was that?
He was awful, in my opinion, to be quite honest with you.
He looked high.
It's almost like this thing where, like, I don't know if it's just me, but when I watch it, it's almost like every guest host, the way they act, it's almost like they think and maybe they think they're above the WWE product, and it's almost like they're lowering themselves to, you know what I mean? It's like you could see Timbaland rolling his eyes when they were doing their promos, like, what the fuck is this bullshit, you know? And it seems like every guest host kind of has that cocky attitude where it's like they think they're so much above what the WWE product is, which, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but if you're going to come on to promote something, you got to play the ball, you got to,
on the SmackDown side of things, being taped tonight at the Eyes Out.
What do we got? What do we got, man?
We've got Drew McIntyre against John Morrison for the IC title. And
Right.
we had The Undertaker was originally on the advertisements for the show, but was pulled in the last few weeks. So I don't know if that means.
Yeah, that could mean nothing, but I don't know why they would pull him from the advert. It doesn't make sense, but it probably, I don't know. I don't see why he wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm. We've got our live chat room, WZROnline.com/chat.
Or
Once again, it's the same thing, WZROnline.com/chat. And we've got the live phone number to call in live. It's 518-712-3070.
yeah, we never talked about it off the air, and you said same thing. So let me just ask you on the air.
Right.
What was the purpose of you decking out that PWS chat if we didn't need it? I don't understand why you
What do you
did
mean?
that.
We had the original WZROnline.com/chat. We had the original page there. I decided that until we can get us moved over to a new server,
Oh,
I decided
okay.
to make this page. And since people for the last few weeks have been going to basically not using ProWrestlingScoops.com/chat, I'll keep it up for those that
That's
want
where
to
I'm at. I prefer that one.
Well, it's the same exact thing. If you go to WZROnline.com/chat, it is the exact same thing that you see on PWS. So we will plug WZROnline.com/chat from this point forward.
Also,
all right.
Sorry, really quick, one more plug before you get into this stuff. We have a YouTube channel set up where we're gonna archive our stuff there and try and reach a little, new audience or whatever. So if you want to check out our YouTube official channel, which has just been set up, we'll be putting archives and stuff like that up and little features. But you can check it out at youtube.com/user/WZR archive. So check that out.
Yeah, no doubt. He set that up today. He's got a bunch of archives up. By the way,
no, he doesn't yet. I don't think.
By the way, the ECW tapings have started tonight in New Jersey, and
cool.
I can tell you there was a backstage segment where Tommy Dreamer is going to face Zack Ryder tonight, and the storyline angle is if Zack Ryder beats him, he'll leave WWE forever tonight. So that is the storyline for Tommy Dreamer leaving WWE, and hopefully we'll have full spoilers here in just a little bit.
Yes, we should. Didn't they just do something like that on ECW, Career versus Mask, with Helms and Burchill?
And Paul Burchill, right. They're actually, they still got that going on. They do weekly segments where Burchill's now under a mask gimmick.
Yeah, I heard.
Right. So that's ECW. I mean, that's what we got. That's the Tommy Dreamer angle. Obviously, with him leaving WWE, you can expect Zack Ryder to be put over. Tommy Dreamer putting people over on the way.
I love this stuff, man. I'm looking at my clock. We're 25 past the hour, and we haven't even really started yet. I love how we do it. It's crazy. We just bullshit for 25, 30 minutes, and it just goes zipping by.
It does.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. We've got WZROnline.com/chat. I plugged that so many times throughout the show, but nonetheless, we're going to do chat shout-outs here in hour number 2. So get in there. If I see you guys come in there, we've got tons and tons of people in there tonight. And once again, got to plug this one more time before we move on to Monday Night Raw from last night. We're going to be here live this Sunday night, one night, 24 hours prior to WWE versus TNA. The following night, it's going to be a live special. It's going to start at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 to 10 Eastern Time, this Sunday night, January 3rd.
Yes, and the parade, which we'll talk about in the news with Hulk Hogan, that'll be over by then, so we'll have all that stuff for you as well.
Right. Monday Night Raw from last night.
Monday Night Raw.
What did you think from top to bottom? I know you tuned in because you knew over the weekend.
The Bret.
Yeah, we reported that.
And Vince.
Vince is going to cut a promo on Bret Hart, and they did that angle where they set it up. I was interested to see how they were going to go about it, and you kind of knew, you know what I mean, but you didn't know if Bret would have been down for to try to relive that. You know what I mean? And obviously it's Vince's company, and Brett agreed to the contract. And I mean, I don't think they would do anything that Brett wouldn't approve of. But to bring up the Montreal screw job, and to go
that was my
that
point.
way.
Like it depends. You said you were interested to see where they were going with the storyline. When they showed that video package, and the last half of it was all about the screw job. Vince brought up the screw job. Sean brought up the screw job, and they directed the attention to Sean and Brett as opposed to Vince and Brett. Although Vince and Brett will probably be the focus. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going right at it. With it's not going to be like some pussy. Oh, he's going to be the coach of the Hart Dynasty. It looks like, at least in the beginning, they're going to go straight at it, man, which is cool.
Yeah, they are going to bring him in next week. We'll run it down here, top to bottom.
And you could care less, which I still don't understand, but we'll get into that later.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it when we run it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. We opened things up with Chris Jericho was outside the building, and he had a megaphone and a petition where the deal is he wanted to get back on Monday Night Raw. So we had a petition out there.
Stop taking pictures of me.
Right. Then we opened the show up. We had a segment with John Cena versus Sheamus. Cena came to the ring, pulled out
versus.
John Cena, an in-ring segment with Cena and Sheamus. We had versus later in the night as our main event, but Cena wanted a tables match, a rematch from the match at the pay-per-view, where Cena was put through a table. So he brought out a table. That brought out Sheamus. Sheamus says, "Not tonight. You're gonna do it my way or no way."
He says it's no challenge. He's already beat him in a tables match. What's in it for me, kind of thing. So storyline-wise, it made sense.
Right. So he says later tonight we're going to have a WWE title match. Obviously, this was planned a week in advance. We had this hyped up, and it was going to be for pinfall only. And with that, we had Cena. They went at it, and Cena hit the attitude adjustment on Sheamus through the table. And then, later in the night, we had there was a segment backstage where Sheamus attacked John Cena as he was about to be interviewed by Josh Matthews.
Yes.
Right,
you're
right. Then we had backstage a new rapper, Timbaland, who was on.
He's more of a producer than a rapper, but yes.
Right. He was. You knew they were going to do something with him and the Divas. Obviously, Who was that?
He was awful, in my opinion, to be quite honest with you.
He looked high.
It's almost like this thing where, like, I don't know if it's just me, but when I watch it, it's almost like every guest host, the way they act, it's almost like they think and maybe they are, they think they're above the WWE product, and it's almost like they're lowering themselves to, you know what I mean? It's like you could see Timbaland rolling his eyes when they were doing their promos, like, what the fuck is this bullshit? You know, and it seems like every guest host kind of has that cocky attitude where it's like they think they're so much above what the WWE product is, which, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but if you're going to come on to promote something, you got to play the ball, you got to,
He looked high, I'll say that. He was
he
was real slow voiced, and there was just something about him, you know what I mean? It just didn't flow. He tried, though. He tried to, maybe he just doesn't have much personality, you know what I mean? And it was tough for him to come out and show it, and he gained. He's never been that big. I mean, I've Googled pics of him, and he's packed on a few pounds, my man.
No, the exact opposite, man.
No,
he's still big, but he's lost a lot of weight. If you go and watch I actually got it on DVD. I'm a big Jay-Z mark. I got Jay-Z Fade to Black. It was back when he said he was going to retire for the Black Album, blah, 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 blah. He did the concert/movie at Madison Square Garden. And it would be like him performing, and then you would go and watch him in the studio with the producers, Kanye West, Pharrell Williams, Timbaland, and they would like show him, playing beats for him and asking him which one he want. And when they showed Timbaland, believe me, Timbaland was way bigger. He's still fat, don't get me wrong.
Let me just say this, that with you saying that, I'm on Google right now, and I just did an image search of Timbaland, and he looked, every image that has come up on this page, He's skinny, man. Not skinny, but he's, cut in half from last night.
Well, I'll show you pictures. Who knows? I don't follow his career. I don't watch TV really, so I don't know. But I know compared to Fade to Black, he was definitely skinnier on Raw last night. Way skinnier.
All right.
He was a big boy.
He looks all right here. But nonetheless, Timbaland did a backstage segment with the Divas, and then we had, who was it? We had another backstage segment with Randy Orton and Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes, the Legacy. Yes. And basically said, I think we're done, guys. And tonight,
time to break up Legacy. Yep.
Right. And then tonight they were going to go out and have individual matches, separate matches. Ted DiBiase Jr. versus Evan Bourne was one of the matches, and Cody Rhodes versus Mark Henry was the other match. And we'll just skip over that. Both guys came out. They did
real quick though. Maybe it's just me. How awesome was that Ted DiBiase Evan Bourne match? I thought that was a great match.
Yeah, Evan Bourne is, they let him.
Not only Bourne, DiBiase held his own, man. He did really good.
Right. They let Bourne go out there and show his stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where a lot of other guys they don't let come in and go all out due to the risk of injury and things like that. You know what I mean? Because high spots like that, when he does that moonsault off the top rope to the floor, it's crazy. You know.
I got two questions then. One, I think I know the answer to already, but you'll know better than me. A, has Evan Bourne ever been in TNA? And B, I don't think he has, and B, if he was, could you imagine? My God, him in the X division, it would be fucking awesome. No.
You know who reminds me? The Amazing Red over in TNA reminds me a lot of Evan Bourne with the crazy high spots, the high flying stuff. Where it's just fun to watch. You know what I mean? And you don't. It's not often that you see guys like Evan Bourne who go out there and get to do stuff like that in WWE. It's not often that you see that in WWE. He's one of the guys that they kind of let go out there and show his shit.
And they always put him over on commentary too, talking about how exciting his matches are and everything like that. So, and they're right.
We've got a ton of people in the live chat room tonight. It's WZROnline.com/chat and the phone number to call. We're talking about Monday Night Raw last night, so if you have comments or questions or anything, or what?
Feedback,
no doubt. Give us a call. It's 518-712-3070. 518-712-3070. We're talking Monday Night Raw.
And if you don't talk about Raw when we answer, we're hanging up on you.
We're hanging up on you. We had another backstage segment. We had Hornswoggle.
Well, real quick, Ted DiBiase Jr. defeated Evan Bourne with the Dream Street. So.
And Cody Rhodes defeated Mark Henry as well.
They did the leg injury spot with Henry again, which was.
That looked good.
I haven't watched Raw in about 4 or 5 weeks. The last time I watched, they were doing the Mark Henry fake leg injury thing. So.
Were they? See, it looked good last night. I said to somebody online, I said, man, he may be down. And
you told me that, yeah. I was like, this is the same fake injury that they did a couple weeks ago.
That's probably why he's so good, because he's done it before, right? So he sold it well.
I guess, man. They just needed an excuse for a small guy like Cody Rhodes to be able to beat Mark Henry clean, and I guess that's the way they went with it. So
we had a backstage segment. See, I thought this was funny. They had
You did?
Yeah, dude.
Oh
Come on.
God.
The midget tied to a skateboard. Come on, dude. That was funny.
No.
At least when it first came on screen. You can't tell me. When it first came on screen, and you saw a midget with tape around him tied to a skateboard. You didn't chuckle at all.
I can tell you right now, I did not chuckle, and I do not like it. No, I thought it was stupid.
Well, the promo itself got kind of corny, but when when they first shot backstage and you saw a midget with tape around him with a skateboard.
Little person, asshole.
No, Jerry Lawler said it last night.
Excuse me, my third cousin is a little person, and he would be very, very offended if he heard.
I bet he is. I'll bet he is.
I don't have any cousins.
Jerry Lawler said midget last night on Raw as well when they came back in the segment. But anyways, Timberland showed up.
Oh,
at some
so
point.
if Jerry Lawler jumped off a cliff, would you, Ryan?
No, you're right. I shouldn't have said midget. I apologize to
there you go.
Any midgets. Any midgets that are listening.
No, we've already explained this. There's no such thing as midgets listening to us because they can't reach the keyboard, so there's no way.
That was deaf people. There's no such thing as deaf people listening to us because they can't hear us.
No. It was retards and midgets. I said because we were making fun of Eugene and Hornswoggle, and I said, don't worry, midgets can't reach the keyboard, and retarded people don't know how to use a computer, so you ain't got to worry about offending them.
Is that what it was?
That's the one, man.
Speaking of retarded people,
mentally challenged. What's wrong with you, man?
Well, you're the one. You're the one that's
I'm
retarded.
screwing with you. Come on, dude.
Speaking of mentally handicapped people, Maurice,
there you go.
Our caller, our Maurice caller, she defeated Kelly. She hit that wild-looking DDT that she does. I hate that thing where she does the cartwheel. It's like her main spot during every match. She's got.
How about that pin?
How about that pin? We need
PG, huh?
Another camera angle would have been decent.
Yes, I wouldn't have minded that at all. Yeah, those are the two sexiest divas. Actually, Maria's my favorite, but after that, those are the two sexiest divas in the company right now.
Maurice and Kelly.
Yeah,
agreed, man. You said that last night to me too. I gotta.
I like Maria the best. I'm a brunette guy.
Did I ever show you that photo with Kelly in the pink?
Was it the ass?
Right.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
That's hot, huh? Oh.
You can check that out. I'm assuming at WZROnline.com or TheWrestlingAnswer.com.
We'll have to put that up. I've got it.
You might as well now. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to put it up now. That is one hot pick. Jesus, man. We'll get that up. But as I sit here and fantasize, right? No, we
snap out of it, bro. Snap out of it.
Snap out of it. We had a backstage segment. We were outside with Jericho was out there again with the picketing thing. With the bullhorn. Big Show came out and gave him a secret envelope, which later in the night turned out to be tickets, front row tickets to Monday Night Raw, because he's no longer on Raw. Here's what we'll talk about.
This is where we got to talk.
And then spend some time on this, finish up Monday Night Raw, go to the hourly break, come back, do some chat shout-outs, take some live phone calls as well. By the way, watch those phone lines, my man. If anybody wants to talk about Monday Night Raw right now, give us a call. It's 518-712-3070, and tons and tons of people in the live chat, WZROnline.com/chat. So, we had an in-ring segment last night, and let's talk about this, and then we'll give our thoughts on where they're going. Bret Hart, his big return next week on Monday Night Raw. Vince McMahon came in and what happened?
Well, it was promoted ahead of time that Vince was going to address the Bret Hart to WWE rumors, and he came out walking with a purpose. As you know, me and you mark out for that. I can admit it. We mark out. I remember it reminded me. Excuse me, I'm a little sick, but like we've mentioned it on the show before, when I lived in New York, we were roommates, and you would go to every stupid show that came into town, anywhere near driving distance, and I would skip most of them.
Let me cut you off real quick. There was actually a
Albany, yeah.
Right, they were in Albany on Saturday. And,
this weekend.
I put a notice out on the website, and I asked a bunch of people to send me in some reports, and I got more than enough from Albany, and it was actually a really good show from top to bottom. But
you'll drive 3 hours to watch Ring of Honor, but no WWE 2 minutes away from your house.
Well, I know,
that we can't do.
I was gonna go, and then I got.
It was the holidays. You had the family. Right. What are you gonna do?
Right. Stay up.
But
so, yeah, I don't know. I didn't go.
But they announced before the show that Vince would come out and address the Bret Hart to WWE return rumors, and so they started the segment. Vince came out, and man, I'm drawing a blank on. But the basic gist was he.
he's going to help Vince McMahon.
I forgot the first like 3 or 4 minutes of what they did, but then they showed the video package about Bret Hart, and it was like a nice, classy video package for like the first, 3/4 of it, and then the last quarter was all about the screw job. And when we came back, a lot of "You Screw Bret" chants and "We Want Bret" chants, and it was a good little video package. And then Vince could not bring himself to say that Bret Hart would be guest host. He said he will never be in WWE. He just can't do it. He can't bring himself to do it, which prompted Shawn Michaels to come out, which we forgot to mention earlier on the show. Shawn said he was going to address Vince in the ring, and Triple H was trying to tell him not to do it, and blah, 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 blah. So this is where Shawn Michaels came out. He got in the ring, and he said, I don't know how he felt it.
He basically said that he wasn't here to talk about Bret Hart. He was
I was going to say, yeah, he didn't. Now you just made me lose my train of thought. You son of a bitch.
What is wrong with you, my man? Jesus,
I was in the middle of a speech and you cut me off, and now I forgot it. But no, basically he was. It was almost like you were expecting him to talk about Bret, and then he threw a curveball and said he wanted The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And he says he thinks he can beat him. He knows he can beat him. He wants the chance. He wants to do it. He wants to end the streak. Blah 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 blah. And Vince, somehow or another, they started talking about feuds that they're bigger than wrestling as a sport. Certain feuds, like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, if you want to use examples. And Vince assumed that Shawn was talking about Shawn and Bret, and then Shawn said, no, me and Undertaker. Somehow or another, Shawn said Vince is scared of Bret Hart, which, of course, Vince ain't going to take that. What are we talking about here? He actually said, and you do a great Vince impression, but you'll never do it, which pisses me off because, come on, man, we got to do voices here. But he said, I don't fear any, what did he say? I'm fearless or something like that. It was a classic Vince reading, which was beautiful. Can I get it was fearless in a Vince voice? Come on, man.
Nah,
it's the last show. It's the last show of the year, bro.
It's got to come when I'm running. You can get a loud, baby, loud.
Oh yeah.
You can get one of those, but I can't. It's got the Vince thing has to be where I'm talking about him. You know what I mean? The gist of this is Shawn came out and the gist of it is Shawn comes out and says that only good if Vince McMahon brings Bret Hart back to Raw, only good things will happen, and basically says that.
He also said he wouldn't mind seeing Bret face to face one more time, and again assured him that only good things will happen if you let Bret come back. And Vince started smiling and actually got up and was sniffing Shawn like a dog sniffs another dog's ass. After a little bit of that, he backed up, had a giant grin on his face, and said, "Well, all right then." And then he said, "Next week's guest host will be Bret the Hitman Hart." So, yeah, that was that, man. What did you think of that segment?
It was a good segment. I wanted to see a Vince McMahon come out, like a pissed off Vince McMahon.
Yeah, me too.
Flipped out, where he just flipped his lid, and we didn't get that, but they did. They did.
Fearless was a Vince pissed off line. That's why you should do it, man. It's the last show of 2009. Can we please just get I'm not afraid of anything. I'm fearless. Come on, man.
I can't do it, dude.
Please, the fans want to hear it, bro. You do a great Vince.
Yeah. But anyways.
Army, I'm telling you right now, this guy does a great Vince. I don't know why he won't do it.
We can't do it tonight. Not tonight. But anyways, by the way, guys, the live chat room that is really filling up. It's WZROnline.com/chat. We're talking Monday Night Raw. So
wow.
Questions concerning Monday Night Raw. It's 518-712-3070. Yeah, but as far as the segment, it came across. They planted the seeds, obviously, for Bret and Shawn.
Was it better than you expected, worse than you expected, or pretty much exactly what you expected?
I wanted Vince to come out, like I said earlier, and just kind of flip his lid, and it didn't happen, so I'd have to say it was worse than I expected, but it still came across, when it was all said and done, it came across as, especially the Shawn and Vince interaction towards the end, it came across as well done. You've planted the seeds for a Brett-Shawn confrontation and a Brett-Vince confrontation, obviously. So you've got both of those seeds planted. And, I think, next Monday night, people in WWE love Bret Hart, you know what I mean? Just a casual wrestling fan. Nobody's seen him in 10 years, you know what I mean? So that alone... 12 years. So
unless you count the Hall of Fame, yeah.
That alone is going to, I would guess, is going to pop a fairly big rating. You've got a Monday Night Football game next week, but it's Seattle and somebody, so it's not a huge game. You've got TNA, which is going to get that hour start on them.
They got the jump. Yeah.
I would say that you'd bring Bret out at the start of the show next week, because TNA's got that hour jump from 8 to 9. So right at 9, you've got to come on with. WWE's got to come on with something big. And I would say you're either going to do a huge match to kick off things, but I would say you'd have to bring Bret Hart out just to try to draw the fans that tuned into TNA for that 1 hour away, into WWE.
Agreed completely. I say he starts the show because that's, when they first start going head to head, and then they bring him back at 10 or something like that when he'll be all over the place because it's Bret Hart, B, he's the guest host, so he's got to be around. If Timbaland gets 4, segments on the show, Bret Hart is going to be all over it, I would think. Now, let me ask you this question, and we can get into it more later if we're going to talk about January 4th, but which show are you going to watch, and then when the commercial hits, are you going to switch over to the other one? Which show is your primary show next Monday night?
We talked about it a little bit last night, where the problem with WWE, and TNA is going to come out for 3 hours next Monday night, and they're going to deliver.
Yeah.
They are going to deliver probably one of the most insane shows that they've ever put on, as far as surprises are concerned, as far as matches are concerned.
Star power.
Yeah, you're going to see huge matches. You've got NWO rumors. You've got Hogan, his debut within TNA. They're going to go balls to the wall, guns blazing, like you said, for 3 hours next Monday night. That's the show that I believe that if you miss 1 minute of that show, you're going to miss something big.
I'll be downloading it no matter what afterwards.
Well,
yeah, I got you.
And you've also got, TNA. So as far as TNA, I think it's balls to the wall, nonstop, can't miss TV. As far as WWE is concerned, sure, you've got Bret Hart and you've got his return, but what you watch on a weekly basis, that's filler. That whole filler stuff with Hornswoggle, you're still going to see that over on Monday Night Raw, where you're going to have that one big thing over on Monday Night Raw, the Bret Hart returning to WWE. Sure, that'll be great, but all that filler material between the opening segment where Bret comes out,
matches, I got you.
Yeah, we're talking Divas matches, we're talking the corny backstage segments, all that stuff.
Hornswoggle, Chavo. Yeah.
Right. I don't think you're going to see that over on TNA. So as far as what I'm gonna be watching.
Hold on, before you do that, it's two completely different audiences. You see, the WWE caters to the kids, so that stuff will still draw because it's always, you know what I mean? So it's like Bret Hart is there. He's not there for that specific reason, but he's there in a sense because he'll draw the fans like me and you, whereas all the other stuff, like you said, Hornswoggle and the shit we hate, will draw their, young demographic that they're really prime on right now. So
right. I would just say, as far as I'm concerned, that was what your question was. Would I be watching the main show that I'm going to watch as far as TNA and WWE? I'll be on TNA for most of the night, and then I'll
flip on commercials.
Right, I'll switch over to Monday Night Raw, but TNA is going to be my main destination for the TV next Monday, just because I know TNA is going to come out. And I've said it before here on WZR that as far as the product right now, the Thursday show is a lot better than the Monday show, and that's TNA over WWE as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not saying that the booking in TNA is perfect, because it's not. And it's, if you were to compare the booking right now in WWE for Raw and the booking for TNA Impact, I just don't see any way, unless you're a 10-year-old kid that you could tell me that the WWE product is better than TNA's product right now. I just, there's no way, you know, unless you're a 10-year-old kid, you know.
Yeah. Which seems to, I mean, I would say 10-year-old kids is the majority of the wrestling fan base right now too. So.
Right. Well,
as far as the ones that are watching consistently, I think TNA, if they do things right, I'm the perfect example. I don't watch wrestling on a regular basis. Next Monday night, I'm all over everything because, you know, it's the Warriors again,
well,
and
I mean, we come on here on a weekly basis, and every week we bitch and moan about how bad Monday Night Raw is, and it seems like everybody agrees. I mean, the guys that come into the chat room, the guys that email me on the website, oh, Raw sucked again last night. Raw sucked again. If you don't watch TNA Impact, go compare TNA Impact to an episode of Monday Night Raw. It's more TNA Impact is more edgy. I mean, they're not completely PG, where WWE, I mean, Hornswoggle, Chavo Guerrero, you know, shit like that on a weekly basis. That doesn't work with me. Whereas I watch TNA and I'm not completely insulted. Sure, there's times where I'm insulted where people
they do goofy shit too.
Right,
not as much at all, but yeah.
Not nearly as much, and that's why at the end of that show at 11 o'clock on Thursday night, I come off watching that product as, you know, it wasn't as bad as the Monday show that I watched.
All right, let's save this for hour 2. We got to finish Raw. We got like 6 minutes here. Let's try and bang the rest of Raw out.
All right, let's do it. We left off at the Divas match with Maurice and Kelly.
No, we didn't.
No. You're right. We had a backstage interview with John Cena. He was attacked by Sheamus, so he gets revenge for earlier in the night where Cena put him through a table. Then we had Timbaland and the Divas backstage. We had Miz, Kofi, MVP. They were all back there. We
arguing over a U.S. title shot. And
set up a...
I would say that was the worst Timbaland segment of the show, I think.
Right. They were all horrible. You know what I mean?
That was bad. And then you got MVP trying to act like he's a hip-hop guy. Oh, man, we got to get a good beat going on this thing here. We got to get a good beat. All right, MVP.
I'll tell you what. We started a riot in the chat room with this WWE versus TNA talk. See, the WWE fans, there's some WWE fans I noticed that will never even give the TNA product a shot. Well, we'll talk about it.
They will on Monday, believe me.
On Sunday night, this is what we're going to do on Sunday night. We're just going to get into a big debate, basically what's better, WWE or TNA.
Yeah,
which
and
product
call in and voice your opinion if you disagree.
No doubt. On Sunday night, we're basically going to have a huge debate. You're going to see the post up on the website. It's going to be like, it'll say something like WWE versus TNA, which is better, what's the better product, or something like that. We'll have a big debate on Sunday night, because I know my feelings based on that, and I think I know yours as well, even though you're not a huge fan of the product. This Monday you're going to be watching.
Okay, I'm glad you said the product, because I'm a huge wrestling fan. I'm just not a fan of the current product. I mean, come on, WWE PG, and I don't watch TNA. If you, let's put it this way, if you're me, and all you watch is Raw, and you don't watch TNA or Ring of Honor or anything like that, ECW, SmackDown, all you watch is Raw, what would you think of the current product right now?
Me? Are you asking me? Or
if you were me and all you watched was Raw, and you know what I mean, would you be like, oh, man, wrestling's great?
Obviously, dude. Obviously. I mean, I come on here every week, and we talk about how much Raw sucks. You know what I mean? If I was
but you still watch it.
Well, I still watch because I've got a job to do, you know what I mean? But as far as, if I was you and
I got a job too. What are we talking about?
Well, I've got a job where,
Yeah, listen to him.
Never mind. You son of a bitch. Anyways, we got we got to take we got to go to the break.
4 minutes, bro.
In a few minutes. All right. We had Miz Kofi Kingston ended in a no contest. Randy Orton came out. Actually, Kingston was about to win the title. Randy Orton came out and attacked Kofi Kingston. They set up a match for next week, Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. That led us into a match between DX, and they plugged Big Show was going to have a mystery partner, a new partner, and invited Jericho.
They did not fail. They did not fail to deliver. They really delivered on the surprise partner.
No doubt
right?
about it. What a huge shocker!
Right.
Huge. We had Chavo Guerrero
Wow.
Wow.
Who saw that one coming, man? That one, I could not believe my eyes.
Yeah.
Chavo, this is the new team of the future, man. Big Show and Chavo. What are we talking about?
I hear you, right? And it looks like, I mean, yeah, right? I mean, Jericho is apparently off Raw, unless they do, next week. Back. Yeah, right, next week in the big match, so they could have him come. I think they will, too, because that'll bring Chris Jericho over to Raw, so Raw doesn't lose him, and it still allows DX, Unified Tag Team Champions. And with Bret Hart coming in too, and the rumors of Triple H not wanting anything to do with Bret, doesn't want him in, I would say, strictly speculation, Jericho wins the titles back. This way, Shawn Michaels, I mean, they could split up DX or anything like that. They will. That's what will happen.
There you go. And then Shawn's free to do the Bret stuff. Triple H can do what he's going to do, and you know.
Yeah, you'll have, I think Jericho will retain, and then that keeps DX on Monday Night Raw, and that allows...
No, they won't retain, because they don't have anything to retain.
Not retain, you're right, win the titles. And then that puts Big Show and Jericho back on Monday Night Raw.
There you go, Jericho and Bret Hart every week on Raw, I'm watching.
Right. Then after the match, we had DX and Jericho. They basically set up the match for next week. And then in our main event, we had John Cena defeated Sheamus. It was a DQ. Sheamus purposely attacked the ref towards the end of the match, and
he was up in the air for an attitude adjustment, and he grabbed the ref's shirt and threw him down, and they disqualified him.
Right. So after the match, we had a beatdown of John Cena to end Monday Night Raw. So next week on Raw, we've got Bret Hart is our guest host. We've got Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton, and for the Unified Tag Team titles, we've got DX versus Jericho. All next week, head-to-head, January 4th, head-to-head with TNA Wrestling over.
And one final note, which we can't really expand on because we don't have any time because we're about to hit the hourly break, but we both talked about it last night. Sheamus, I don't see him as a world champion. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't, you know what I mean?
It doesn't look right, but...
The last Raw of 2009, Sheamus attacks their main guy, John Cena, and I don't know, man. They're not...
You know,
it pays to be Triple H's workout buddy, I guess.
I hear you. You know what I mean? It pays to be a suck-up. And we had an article up, and I would expect...
I mean, you can't tell till after the Royal Rumble, first of all. So, I mean, everything changes. But, will he have the title? I don't think so.
You've still got Sheamus in the mix as well, and I don't think they're going to...
Yeah, but they've beaten that to death already. Yeah. I mean, by the time WrestleMania rolls around, I don't see them still doing that. So I don't know.
Well, then, when Undertaker tombstoned him on Raw, then I think that was all for nothing since they changed their mind.
Probably.
Yeah, it looks like they've, that was a late decision anyway, that they were going to do Shawn versus Taker too, and obviously coming off last year's match, I mean, that was the match of the year.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for this year.
Right, I mean, so why not do it again, and I mean, hopefully they have that end the show this year, you know what I mean? Because you know it's going to be awful. I mean, last year was freaking crazy, and it didn't main event the show, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Who knows?
I mean, it main evented the show. It just didn't go on last. That was the main event of that show.
Right.
That was an amazing... No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying.
Right.
Caller, anything else, brother?
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Why don't you talk a little bit of MMA? We'll mix this up a little bit, and then I want to get back into. We've got a lot of news and rumors that we're going to talk about here in hour number 2, and keep taking phone calls as well, because
I feel
like we miss out on a lot of phone calls on a weekly basis.
I ignore them a lot because I never know how you want me to handle it, so I guess I'll just take them whenever they come.
Yeah, just jump in whenever they come.
UFC 108 is this Saturday, even though I didn't think it was, and Ryan knew it was. He was right, I was wrong, even though I'm supposed to be the MMA guy. Screw you. It will be live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, a place myself and Mr. Clark are familiar with. The main event will be Rashad Evans versus Thiago Silva. Both guys got knocked out by Lyoto Machida. We got a call here, so I got to cut myself off. Caller, you're in there. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up? It's Master Kennedy.
What's up, man?
I have a question. What do you think of Owen Hart Hall of Fame induction for WrestleMania 26 while they got Bret Hart under contract? Thanks.
It makes sense to me. I mean, I haven't heard anything like that, but I don't know, Ryan. What do you think?
What was the question?
Since Bret Hart will be around for the Hall of Fame ceremony this year, what about inducting Owen Hart?
That's possible. That's very possible. There's been talks for quite some time about inducting Owen, but they wanted to wait, obviously, for the right time. It's not something that you want to do right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but with Bret there, you could have him do the speech
right.
and introducing you know what I'm trying to say. Get the hell out.
I mean, that's a really good point, no doubt. Where it would make sense, obviously, because you're going to have Bret there. Bret's going to be there until I believe it's about 2 weeks after WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So they'd have him there, and you wouldn't need him under contract to do that, anyways. You know what I mean? But it would make sense to have him. You're obviously going to have him at WrestleMania. I mean, if he's under contract through WrestleMania, you're going to use him at Mania, obviously.
I mean, he had the stroke and all these problems and the concussions from Goldberg's kick, and he's always said he can't wrestle no more. He wishes he could, but he can't. I see at least one match coming out of Bret Hart, and it would probably be WrestleMania.
I don't. I don't see a match. I expect him in, say, some
capacity, like referee,
right.
I don't know.
But as far as Owen, man, I mean, it's a good point because you'd have him there.
Definitely.
It would make sense, and I don't know. He's back in WWE, so why not do everything the right way? I mean, Hall of Fame is still several months out, obviously, but be a major name with Bret there. I would say that's very possible. Really.
Yeah.
Possible,
I mean, because who else is going to induct Owen Hart? And if Bret's there now, might as well do it now because you never know. He could get pissed off, and then you'll never have that opportunity again.
Somebody in the chat room, Robot Fight Night, says, Ryan, what are you eating? So they can.
I hear you chewing on shit over there too. Why are you? M&Ms, or you said, or whatever.
I gotta lay off these M&Ms, man. They're good. Once you get one, it's like what was the potato chip?
Once you pop, you can't stop.
Pringles, right?
Yes. I hate Pringles, by the way. But UFC 108 this Saturday, as I said, live on pay-per-view, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. Main event, Rashad Evans versus Thiago Silva. Undercard, we've got Junior Dos Santos, fresh off his victory over Mirko Cro Cop, fighting the former bad boy of Pride, Gilbert Yvel. I don't know if you've ever seen the clip. It's a pretty popular clip. It was a fight in Japan Gilbert Yvel had, and the guy kept trying to wrestle him, and Gilbert Yvel was a striker, and the ref kept trying to tell Gilbert to stop holding on to him, something like that. Next thing you know, Gilbert Yvel turns around and knocks the referee unconscious with a punch. No, completely on purpose. I mean, it was obvious as hell. And there was some other stuff, like when he fought Don Fry in Pride, he kept scratching his eyeballs, and they had to stop the fight by DQ, which is pretty rare. Anyway, so that's
dirty.
Yes, he is. That's the semi-main event. We've also got Paul Daly versus Dustin Hazlett. A great striker with good takedown defense and gets a good submission guy. Got another caller, so I got to break my own momentum again. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on, brother?
Wrong number.
Yeah, get out of here.
What do you say?
I have no idea. It sounded like Freddy Krueger on my end. But usually when I listen to the archive, you can hear him a lot better, so maybe he was legit. I apologize if he was. Next up, we've got Joe Lozon versus Sam Stout. That should be a great, great fight. And the opening bout will be Dwayne Bang Ludwig, one of our first guests on WZR, against Jim Miller, a very underrated guy that's really starting to get his attention. So that's the pay-per-view card. Because there's no Video Game Music Awards, we will have 3 prelims live on Spike TV leading you into the show. I have not heard who will be fighting on those prelims, but looking at the card, I would assume it'll be actually the brother of the man on the pay-per-view card, Joe Lozon's brother, Dan Lozon, will be fighting Cole Miller, Ultimate Fighter veteran, and Vladimir Matyushenko, former IFL champion, former UFC contender, will be fighting Steve Cantwell. So I think those would be the 2 prelims that they would show, but I'm not sure.
It's a good fight.
It's a very, very shitty card, if you want to be honest.
I've heard of.
Let me write it down. I'll just list the fights, and then you tell me. Rashad Evans versus Thiago Silva. Junior Dos Santos versus Gilbert Ivel. Paul Daly versus Dustin Hazlett. Joe Lozon versus Sam Stout, and Dwayne Ludwig versus Jim Miller. Are you going to pay $50 for that?
Well, calling. I go to WrestlingStreams.net for that, but
there you go.
I know who everybody is. It's not. Yeah, but I hear you. As far as
that's not a. Yeah, if it was a fight night, I would be all over it. But pay-per-view, I don't know about that. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Who do you see coming into TNA in the next couple of months to challenge WWE?
Oh, Christ. There's so many names. Really quick before we get into that, are you in the Jacksonville area?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Aren't you out in Orange Park?
Yeah, I'm Orange Park. Yeah, I'm Orange Park, fellow Jacksonville.
Yeah, I heard that you had you lost electricity last week or the last show that you were on.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Anyways, as far as the TNA guys coming in, we've listed them a million times. There's Hulk Hogan, Rob Van Dam is rumored, Scott Hall is confirmed, X-Pac is pretty likely, Ric Flair is still
still able to get the pin in the end. So Matt Hardy advances in the tournament. We had a backstage segment.
Hey, man, I'm really sorry to interrupt. What is that tournament for? Is it for a shot at the title, or what is it?
ECW title.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We had a backstage segment with Zack Ryder and Rosa Mendez. They encountered Tommy Dreamer backstage and began to mock him. Dreamer grabbed Ryder, said he was sick of losing to guys like him. He said Ryder was nothing but a guy with a bad catchphrase and a bad haircut. He says if Ryder wants him so bad, if he can beat him tonight, he'll leave ECW forever. Ryder told him it was on. We had Ezekiel Jackson came out for a promo. He said he and Regal were betrayed by Kozlov last week. He ripped on Kozlov, who came out to the ring and chased him away, challenged him to a match, and Ezekiel Jackson left. Backstage, we had Tommy Dreamer was getting ready for his match. Christian came into the room and said he trusts Dreamer, but he asked him what he really wants. Dreamer said that they walked into each other's shoes, and just like Christian came back with something to prove, Dreamer says he's got something to prove as well, and Christian says no matter what happens tonight, he loves Dreamer like a brother, and everybody knows that the heart and soul of ECW.
Yeah, that's nice to hear, because the first half of that segment, or vignette backstage with Zack, I think it was Zack Ryder and Tommy. Well, it sounded like they were going to toilet him on the way out, which is just a shame. But I guess he's getting his just
once we get to the end here, they did a really, really nice send-off where the crowd chanted, "Thank you, Tommy," and we'll get to that here.
I bet he cried. I bet he cried
too. Well,
next to Ric Flair, that dude cries more than anybody in that.
I hear you. We had Tommy Dreamer basically told Christian before the segment ended backstage that he wanted a rematch for the ECW title, and Christian told him if he beats Ryder tonight, no doubt, you my boy, you got it. Then we had Evan Bourne from Monday Night Raw pinned Mike Knox. Oh, Jesus, Knox is back.
Is he still all hairy with the long beard and the stupid hair?
I think he's got a new look. I haven't seen him in a few weeks here on ECW, but he returns tonight and is jobbed out to Evan Bourne. So Matt Hardy and Evan Bourne advance in the tournament. Next week, CM Punk makes his return to ECW, as does Mark Henry, as does Chavo Guerrero, and the three of those guys will face each other. So CM Punk versus Mark Henry versus Chavo Guerrero next week on ECW. Backstage, ECW General Manager Tiffany thanked Tommy Dreamer for everything as he walked through the halls. Backstage,
wow, it sounds like they're really giving him a nice send-off.
They are. We had a backstage segment. Yoshi Tatsu was trying to teach Goldust some Japanese when Trent Beretta and Coyle, the other guy, I can't remember his first name, came up. Yeah, a new tag team over on ECW.
Oh, I've never even heard of them.
They insulted Dreamer, and Goldust cut a promo on them in Japanese. And then on our main event, we had Zack Ryder pinned Tommy Dreamer. Let's see here.
Was there some bullshit there?
Dreamer had a DDT and went for the pin, but Ryder got his foot on the ropes. Dreamer hit a belly-to-belly suplex. Ryder turned in midair and covered Dreamer, hooked the leg.
Clean?
After it was over, well, Dreamer's leaving. You got to put the guy over clean. So after it was over, we had Tommy Dreamer gave a nice speech, thanked everyone from the original and the new ECW. He said in WWE, you're supposed to call everyone the WWE Universe, but to him, they are his family. He pointed out his wife, who is the former Beulah from ECW.
McGillicuddy.
Yeah. Beulah and her daughters, his daughters, were in the front row.
Twins, right?
They were, right. They twin daughters. They were in the front row. And let's see here.
I'm betting you $1 million Tommy Dreamer cried.
Let's see. I think they do a promo with one of his daughters. He says one daughter said their dad falls down a lot, while the other says he always gets back up. Dreamer says that's what life is all about, falling down and getting back up. He says that he is proof that you can live your dreams, and he did it in ECW and WWE. He told everyone to be good to each other and always get back up. He took his daughters from the front row and carried them to the back. They waved goodbye. The crowd chanted ECW and thank you, Tommy. A nice, classy exit for Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
Right. So that's ECW for tonight. Hopefully we'll have some SmackDown spoilers here in just a little bit before we go off the air. I'll put these on the website. Obviously, I can't do it now because we're doing a live radio show. Live, baby, live!
Oh, yeah! Caller, you're on the air. What's going on, man?
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy. No doubt, my man.
That's all he had to say.
Hey, right. No doubt. Whatever works for him, right? So, WZROnline.com/chat. Joey just entered the live chat room. WZROnline.com/chat. And the live phone number to call us is 518-712-3070. Tommy Dreamer.
I'm shocked Maurice hasn't called in yet. This is weird.
Well, you hang up on him every week, so he probably says, fuck you.
He likes it, though. You know you can tell he likes it.
I hear you. All right, so
no?
let's get to, whatever. We're moving on. Let's get to some news and rumors before we get on out of here. We got about 20 minutes left on the shindig, and then we're going to be here once again this Sunday night, guys, for a WZR Radio special. We're going to dedicate it to PNA versus WWE this Monday night. So come back. The entire show. So this Monday, we're going to be, this Sunday, we're going to be taking tons of your live phone calls. Which is the better product, WWE versus TNA? We're going to have a hell of a debate come Sunday night from 8 to 10 Eastern Time. So be sure to join us for that. All you guys that come out on Tuesday night, come out Sunday night as well from 8 to 10 Eastern Time. That's going to be a fun show, man. We're going to have a good debate.
Looking forward to it, brother. You want to take one more caller before we get into the news?
Let's do it, my man.
All right, caller, you're on the air. What's going on, man? Caller. 3,
2, 1.
All right.
Bow. Chicka, chicka, bow. All right. So what do we got going on in the show file here that we don't use? Hulk Hogan going to be in a parade in Orlando. I did not hear about this. What? Are
you serious?
No, I haven't heard anything about this.
You haven't heard about? Oh my God, dude! It came out several days ago. So they had press releases and posters, and yeah. So the deal is, it's exactly the same as WCW. When he was first signed to WCW, they did a big parade in Orlando, no less, and yeah, to welcome Hulk Hogan to WCW. So pretty wild stuff. They're gonna do the same thing on Spike TV cameras, TNA cameras. Will be there to film stuff. So who knows what's gonna happen? Real quick, caller, you're on the air. What's going on, man?
Man, I think Sheamus is such a joke. When are they going to give up on this gimmick?
I don't know. That's a good question, man. I agree with you.
He said Sheamus is such a joke.
Hey, when are we going to get rid of that gimmick? Yeah.
I mean, you've got to push new talent, but I mean, we've talked about it before. A guy like Kofi.
Yeah, I was going to say Kofi should have got the nod before Sheamus. Right. They needed a heel. I understand they needed a heel, but still.
Right. But I mean, the guy, he's got that look, you know what I mean? He's got that ghost white look, and it's just it's like, wow, man.
He doesn't look like a star to me. I don't know.
Well, the accent doesn't. I mean, the accent kind of kills him too. He doesn't exactly. He doesn't look like a major. He doesn't look like WWE champion, obviously. But you're trying to build.
Like I said, when he came, what did I tell you last night when he first came out with the belt? I said it looked like one of those things where Make-A-Wish Foundation and WWE lets like a retard come out wearing a belt just to walk.
Mentally handicapped, Matty Boone.
I was calling back your thing. Mentally challenged guy, yeah, wear the belt and get to do a little entrance. That's what I thought when I saw him. I'm like, this guy he's the top guy on a brand with John Cena and Randy Orton and Triple H and Shawn Michaels. This is the top guy.
I hear you, man.
No, he's not the top guy.
You know, Kofi Kingston would make. I don't know. I think Kofi Kingston's got the look of a champ. Like I would buy Kofi Kingston more than I'd buy Sheamus. But nonetheless,
Agreed.
I mean.
And Kofi Kingston's better in the ring, too, and he's more experienced. You know?
Right. Yeah, listen, they're going to force feed him down your face, whether you like it or not. Yeah, I mean, it's Vince's company, you know what I mean? And I guess...
And he's Triple H's buddy, and it's almost Triple H's company, too. Caller, anything else real quick? We got to move on, man.
Yeah, they need to give Chad Gaspar a good push. I mean, that guy's got the physique. He's got the mic skills.
You know, that's another. You know, that's another guy that's got the look. You know, every time you see him, I mean, he's jacked. He's got he's tall. He's got that look where, you know, I would buy him as a WWE champion as well. Unfortunately, they've got him in that tag team role where they don't.
Are they talking about the guy from Crime Time?
Prime Time, right? The
okay.
the taller, more you know, the taller, bigger one.
Where he's got the dreads or whatever.
Right. Well, no. The shorter guy. There's the tall guy. Not the guy with the teeth that wears the chrome teeth or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, not him. The taller guy.
The taller one. Yeah. Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
you never know. I mean,
I
on his own, you never know what he's gonna do because he's never had that chance yet. Real quick. Caller, you're on the air. Last caller of the show. We got to get into some news. What's on your mind, brother?
Hello? Is this me?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, my friend was actually at the SmackDown ECW taping, and he was saying Tommy Dreamer retired, not just that he left. Now, I heard rumors he was coming to TNA. Is that true, or is he just, do we not know?
No, we talked about that earlier. I mean, Ryan, you can run it down real quick again if you want.
I'm sorry, I didn't even hear the question, man.
He said he's heard rumors that Tommy Dreamer's going to TNA. Is it true or is it just bullshit?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a rumor. It's not guaranteed, but it seems like a legit rumor is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. The deal is, obviously, he signed a contract this past summer with WWE. I'm not sure if it was a year deal. If it was a 1-year deal, there's a possibility where he may not be able to go anywhere until some point this summer when that deal expires. If not, he would obviously have the 90-day no-compete clause with WWE. So you'd have that. So it'd be at least 3 months away. But basically, everybody that we talk to expects him to wind up within TNA at some point. So
I can't believe you didn't hear about the Hogan TNA parade. Not only that, do you know who else is doing it? It's not just TNA Hogan doing the parade. You know who else is the main guy involved with it?
Who?
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Well, I heard about some party. They were going to throw him a party. Bubba the Love Sponge was going to do
something different. Bubba the Love Sponge and TNA are putting a parade on for Mr. Hogan, you know, his debut and everything. So
I didn't know it was a parade. I just heard it was a party.
Yeah, it's a parade, yeah.
All right. And this parade is based around Hogan TNA.
Yes.
The entire parade party.
It's kind of like it's the same thing that did in WCW. They're welcoming him to the city, and it's just basically it's a last day promotional stunt to get a little bit more attention for their show the following day on Monday.
Wow. See, I did not. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that it was based around the debut of Hogan in TNA.
It's not like a Hogan celebrity parade. It's Hogan TNA parade.
We'll have
you want to take one more caller? I mean, we got a lot of news to get to here. It's up to you.
do it up. We've only got about 15 minutes left, but we'll run down the news quick.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on, man?
Yeah, you know what happened to Kurt Hawkins?
Get out of here.
No, he's got a legit question. Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins? Sounded like a setup to me. I'm sorry. I apologize, brother. My bad.
It's Kurt Hawkins. He used to be one of the Edgeheads over on SmackDown, where Edge had the two other guys. It was Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder was actually the other guy.
Kurt Hawkins wasn't the weird guy in like the first season of Tough Enough, was he? Or
I don't believe so. I don't remember tough enough from that far back, but
I don't either. That's
it used to be Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Zack Ryder obviously is over on ECW with a completely new gimmick. You know, there's roster cuts that are upcoming, and that's a guy that, to be completely honest with you, until you brought his name up to me, I wouldn't even have thought of him, and I don't think a lot of other people would either. I mean, who is Kurt Hawkins? You know what I mean? We haven't heard of him in months, and like I said, with expected releases in the new year, he's a guy that's been sitting back, not been used in quite some time, and it's guys like that usually that seals their fate when the roster cuts come up in the spring. So we'll see what happens to him, but I completely forgot until you brought his name up that he was on the roster. So.
Live chat room still live and kicking. Tons of people in there. Come in, chat it up with us. We'll shout you out. WZROnline.com/chat. We've still got the phone lines open. You can call us at 518-712-3070. Ryan, what's in the news, my man? What's in the news?
We had the Young Bucks who received a tryout last week at the All TNA Knockouts TV taping. They had a match against Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns, and impressed. You know, I saw him at
It was
Ring
the buzz
of
of the night from what I heard. Everybody was talking about it.
Right. I believe
all the boys.
There was talk that, Dixie Carter noted over the weekend on Saturday or Sunday that she had signed them to a contract, and I believe they want to do that match, obviously, once again for a live TV audience, whether it be on January 4th, whether they bring them in right away and debut them and have that match. I heard the match was off the hook at the Impact taping.
Yeah.
So as far as how they go about that.
Have you ever seen the Young Bucks when you go to those ROH shows? Have you ever watched them wrestle?
Yeah, I just said that Saturday. I saw them at Ring of Honor the Saturday before they had signed.
Are they decent-sized guys, or are they like little small Ring of Honor guys?
They are when I was at the Ring of Honor show, not the last one, but the one prior to that, there was a chant of bootleg Hardys, which they've got the long hair. Basically, it'll remind you of a little bit smaller version of the Hardy Boys. One's got blonde hair.
They're skinny, and they're not real big guys.
No, one's got blonde hair, one's got black hair, both long hair. It's basically a bootleg Hardys. These
and
guys
they can just work their ass off.
And they can work their ass off. Basically, a lot more high flying, you know what I mean? High flying stuff that they do. But it's basically a young Hardy Boys tag team. So hopefully they'll have a bright future. You know, they recently signed with Ring of Honor. They went from working the indie scene, a young tag team too, haven't been around for all that long, and they went from working the indie scene to Ring of Honor to being, and they were offered a tryout with Ring of Honor, and Ring of Honor management was impressed. They kept them, and now they've been elevated to national TV on a weekly basis. So, these guys have really skyrocketed to the top fairly quick, and I've seen them several times before, and every time they impress, and like I said, at the tryout this past week, they impressed as well. So we'll see if they debut January 4th on the 3-hour live special next Monday night. We'll probably talk about that a little bit on Sunday night as well. Some more TNA news for you. Christy Hemme, she tied the knot over the holiday break. We have exclusive.
No, she didn't. She got engaged over the holiday break.
Right, engaged. That's right. But we have exclusive photos over on TNAWrestlingNews.com.
Do you really?
I do. We have
son of a bitch.
photos of my man, her husband, FM stations, no AM, FM stations.
Oh, yeah.
in major markets such as San Diego, Dallas,
San Francisco.
Major markets. And basically the deal is they want it'll be about a 12-minute segment that'll air Thursdays, I believe, during the drive home.
Afternoon drive time, yeah.
Yeah, afternoon drive time, and once during the midday broadcast as well, radio broadcast. So basically, we've been in talks with them, and the plan is hopefully at some point down the line we can possibly get this show on FM radio, get the entire show on FM radio. And this guy's got a lot of good connections. Not only that, but I wouldn't, if we were ever to go to FM radio at some point, the internet fan base has been the most diehard. I mean, that's where we got our start. That's where we've been for the last 10 years, and I wouldn't want to leave them. So I would at least have to find some way to get this live online. Nothing's confirmed anyway.
Oh, yeah. We would still do it live, I would believe, and then we would just send them our best 12 minutes for their drive time feature that they want to do with us.
Right. The drive time feature would be.
So basically, the basic gist is WZR. As I get beeps, WZR is getting interest from some major markets, major FM stations. They want us.
They do.
And I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either, baby. But hopefully.
I got no voice, and we still pimp this shit. Come on, of course they want us.
Hopefully at some point in 2010 we can get this shindig on FM radio, some major markets. And not only that, but I was actually asked earlier today. They want me next week, Tuesday at 4:30 Eastern Time. I believe it's called the Busted Open Show or something like that on Sirius Satellite Radio. Sirius XM Satellite Radio. So I believe I'll put it up on the website if we can get this confirmed. But I believe next Tuesday before we go live.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
They've asked me before. I want to do. If I'm going to talk about anything, I want to do it on my airwaves, not somebody else's. That's how I.
I'll put a notice out. But if you have Sirius Satellite Radio, I believe it's called the Busted Open Radio Show. 4:30, somewhere around 4:30. I'll try to get the exact time of when I'm going to be on. But next Tuesday, I'm going to be on there prior to going on here live. So. We'll figure that all out next week, and as I get times, I'll put that up on the website. If you have Sirius Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, you can listen.
While we're talking about radio and stuff, do you remember that we used to actually it was an AM station, but do you remember we were on in Kansas and Kentucky, like way back in the day?
We were on out of Kansas City, Missouri on KFan.
That's it, KFan in Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, they used to take our show and then re-air the entire show. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool just to be on the radio without actually having to do the radio. We could just do our show on the internet like we like to do.
Right.
And they liked it so much that they said, we would like you to do it live for us, exclusive for us, but we like you guys. We want to air your shit, and, so they did, and it was pretty cool.
That was, man. That was back in the day. So that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Next
2009, baby.
That's it, man. The end of a decade, man. It's been about a decade since we've been doing WZR Radio.
It's about, man.
Man, it's been a long time. It's been fun. Next year, we're going to kick off 2010 with a bang. As we just noticed here, we've got big things popping for 2010. Better quality, possible FM radio, drive time, traffic,
several major markets,
all that good stuff. So we've got a lot of stuff planned for 2010. You guys have been awesome throughout 2009. So
love you guys, man. Love you.
Yeah, no doubt. Can't thank you guys enough. And we're going to be here this Sunday night. We're going to be talking TNA versus WWE, 8 to 10 Eastern Time, WZROnline.com. That's going to.
Let me get two plugs in real quick since we're doing plugs real quick. One more time, I want to plug our YouTube channel that we will be starting probably with tonight's show, and then we'll back it up and put onto the some of the archives up there so we can attract some new people on YouTube. It'll be YouTube. Actually, it already is. You can go check it out now. YouTube.com/user/WZR archive. So check that out. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, of course, www.MMAnews.com. Tons of exclusive video interviews, pre-stuff from UFC 108, a lot of stuff from the Dynamite show on New Year's Eve in Japan, and we've still got a ton of stuff from the big Strike Force Evolution show where Kung Lee lost and Thompson Melendez had that great fight. So check all that stuff out at MMAnews.com.
Blah, 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 blah.
This coming from somebody who plugged 13 photo galleries earlier in a row. Get out of my face.
You know I had to get that in one last time. And one more thing. And before we go, man, we go, for the last 2 hours, we have been live, baby, live.
Oh, yay!
Happy New Year, guys.
That's how you finish the year right there. That's how you do it.
Baby. That's how you do it. No doubt about it. Hey, guys, Happy New Year's. Have a be safe this Friday night if you're going out, or this Thursday night. Friday's New Year's Day. I know they're expecting a major snowstorm to come up the coast here in Albany, here on the East Coast. Be safe if you're going out. Be safe if you're drinking, if you're partying. We got to see you this Sunday. Her boyfriend, her fiance now, down on one knee with a ring.
Oh, I got to steal those, man.
We've got those over on TNAWrestlingNews.com. It's a few posts down, but basically what happened, and it's evidenced by the photos that we have over on TNAWrestlingNews.com. He got down on one knee, posed during the breaks. She had her mother and father that were there, who are also seen in the photos. And then after it was over, she broke out her guitar and sang a song for her friend. And we've got photos of that as well.
I really dig Chris Miami. I really dig her.
I know, she is.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
she was on Howard Stern once, and they put her in the Robo Spanker, just spanked the shit out of her. It's great.
By the way, in addition to those photos, also over at TNAWrestlingNews.com, I'll put them over there. We're the only website that has these. From last month on the Australian tour, we've got photos of Umaga, and these are the last photos ever taken of him.
I got them too, brother.
All right, last photos. One of the photos, he's got a bottle of Grey Goose vodka, which he's drinking about. Last photos of Umaga ever taken.
Oh, that's okay. That is exclusive. I got photos of his last match with Mr. Canada, I believe.
No, we've got photos. Basically,
you got me beat again, man.
It's all the guys. They're on an airplane. It's all the guys. They're ribbing each other. You can see a couple ribs that they did on the airplane to Umaga. He was involved in one of them. You can see guys. Mr. Kennedy, Ken Anderson is in the pictures as well. It's all over at TNAWrestlingNews.com. It's exclusive photos. Never before seen the last photos ever taken of Umaga. And
I'll tell you right now, both of them, Christy Hemme photos, Umaga photos, I have heard nothing about them, never seen them anywhere. Those are some good exclusives, and I'm telling you right now, if I wasn't busy doing the show, I would be logging onto my web browser and typing in www.TNAWrestlingNews.com to check those out, because they sound cool.
There you go, no doubt. TNAWrestlingNews.com.
How'd I do?
Not bad, man. Not bad at all. We had
you said you would pay me if I put that plug in for you.
Yeah, right. Don't expect a fucking time. Don't expect a time for me, you son of a bitch. How about China to host a Monday Night Raw? She's trying. She put up a poll on her website about a guest gig hosting Monday Night Raw, and not that means anything, but she threw her name out. Ashley Mazzaro did the same thing a few weeks back, where Ashley Mazzaro hosted. Yeah, right. They're gonna have Ashley coming in on Raw, right?
I could see China. It's been a long
time. I could see China, but Ashley, come on, dude, not Ashley. Give me a break.
Especially if DX is still together. If and when they would put China on, because they have a ready-made thing to do right there.
I thought that was hilarious when Ashley Mazzaro came out. Like you're some huge star, you know? Whatever. I got a personal thing against her back in the day.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, that's a good story. We went through that on the air. It was a great. You should check the archive for that. It was an awesome story, man.
Yeah, no. John Cena is going to miss next week's big Monday Night Raw. I did hear about this. He's going to be at the Fiesta Bowl for a coin toss, which I'm presuming they're going to they're gonna promote the Royal Rumble pay-per-view here in a few weeks. So that's next week. He's gonna miss.
Yeah, Cena himself confirmed today. I'm sorry, man. Cena himself confirmed today on ESPN that he will definitely not be at Raw next week. So
right,
100% guaranteed.
We'll talk more about that on Sunday night. Once again, join us Sunday night for a special WZR Radio broadcast. Damn it. 8 to 10 Eastern Time this Sunday night. We'll be here, so give us a comeback and check us out.
We need your calls, man. You're all right. We need your calls, so definitely tune in Sunday, 8 to 10, as you said. We will be talking nothing but the new Monday Night War, January 4th. That's all we're talking about. We want your calls. We want your emails. We want your chat questions. We want to get into it, man. We want to have some fun with this because we're all excited, as I'm sure you guys are too.
And a big debate, WWE versus TNA, Monday Night Raw versus TNA Impact.
Can't wait.
It is the better show this Sunday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time. That's all we're talking about. A little bit more news here, a couple more bits before we get on out of here. Top of the hour, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We already did ECW spoilers. I'll put those on the website as soon as we go off the air. SmackDown spoilers as well. We're going to have live coverage tonight over at ProWrestlingScoops.com. Bobby Lashley, recently, you guys know, we had the presser up on the website, signed with the Strikeforce MMA promotion. Basically, he's worked at both for the time being, or for the past few months. He's worked both TNA and done MMA as well. But
MMA training, he hasn't really fought, so it's a whole different story. Especially because he was fighting in nobody leagues. Now he's with one of the big boy companies. So pick it up from there. I don't know what happened to Ryan, but so he signed with Strikeforce. That's one of the big league companies. So it's basically one of those things where if he wants to take MMA serious, he's kind of got to choose. And our buddy Raj Giri at Fightline.com interviewed Mr. Bobby Lashley, I believe it was yesterday, maybe the day before, where he pretty much admitted he's done with TNA, or he's done with pro wrestling, and a lot of the guys in TNA, he said, are huge marks for MMA, and as soon as they heard the news that he signed with Strikeforce, they all wished him well and understood that he was probably going to be on the way out soon as far as TNA is concerned.
Right. And basically, like you said, Strikeforce is a little bit bigger than these indie federations that he's fighting, and there's some bigger names there. Fedor is also there as well. So I think
Fedor's there, man.
Really going to take MMA seriously here, and I'm guessing that you can last longer in pro wrestling than in MMA. I mean, that's just look at a guy like Randy Couture, though, who's still going strong. But
he's a rare example.
I think
that's like saying look at Ric Flair. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's very rare.
Lashley is in his prime right now, and I think to focus your time right now on MMA, which is blossoming, you know what I mean?
Well,
it's blooming right now. So.
The thing is, he's got to focus on MMA strictly right now because he's, like you said, he's either in the prime or near the end of his prime, and a fighter's shelf life is not that long, and once he's done that, he could always go back to pro wrestling, and it would be no big deal, and he would probably be a much bigger star unless he gets, his ass whooped, in every fight he has from now until then, so.
Right. So that, we don't have anything else. Actually, just closed out my show file, but I think
we had one big one that you skipped. I don't know why you skipped it.
What's that?
The whole Time Warner Fox thing, man.
Oh, the problems with the major markets. Yeah, I think they're going to get that worked out just due to the fact that. That's a huge loss. First of all, in the Dallas market, you've got a football game. You've got a major football game between the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys for on Sunday night, I believe it is. And I think by the end of the week, probably tomorrow or Thursday or at some point this week, I think they're going to get that all resolved because that's a lot of money. The people are going
that would be an enormous hit. Forget SmackDown. We're wrestling fans. That's how we're affected. But you lose Fox in New York, you lose Fox in L.A., Dallas, a bunch of other markets I've heard. That's a big blow. And speaking of Dallas, I don't know if you want to tickle their ass with a feather about the some of these offers we've been getting from some pretty serious people. I don't know if you want to just at least mention it. It's nothing even close to beginning negotiations, but some cool shit could be happening there.
Yeah, we'll mention it. I wasn't going to bring it. I was actually surprise them at some point. You know what I mean?
Oh,
bring it up.
Well, I didn't say nothing yet.
All right.
Well,
basically,
it could be anything. They don't know what I'm talking about.
Basically, the deal is we'll break it right now. But the deal is I've been
last show of the year, baby.
I know, last show of the year. Got to go out with a bang, right? We'll break it
that
right
big
now.
exclusive, man. Right at the end of the show, last show of the year, right at the end. Give them the exclusive, baby.
I've been in some talks here with a guy that owns several.
Big wig.
Yeah, big wig guy. Several